Hey guys, Pipsy2 here and welcome back to another Little Nightmares 3 theory video. So, this theory is, what will the ending be for Little Nightmares 3? So, the world of Little Nightmares, the Nowhere, is a very complex place, with mysteries and questions hanging in the air from years ago to this day. But the residents of the Nowhere always have it worse. Will our heroes Lone Alone have a good ending for once, or will they end up like the rest of the unfortunate children that have met their demise? Let's find out. Unless you count 6 being evil and literally sucking the souls out of people and then leaving them all a good ending, no Little Nightmares game has ever had a good ending. Mono met his demise in Little Nightmares 2, where 6 betrayed him. He then later turned into the Thin Man, trying to stop his younger self from trusting 6, but dying doing so. The Raincoat Girl met her demise in Very Little Nightmares, where she fell off of a cliff along with the Pretender into a sea of water. The Runaway Kid met his demise in the Little Nightmares DLCs, Secrets of the Mall, after getting transformed into a gnome by the lady, and later on getting eaten by 6. You get my point. It's rare for a child to have a happy ending in the Nowhere, but that doesn't mean it's impossible. Although it's not looking good for Lone Alone. Let's take a look at the description of the newest Little Nightmares 3 trailer, the Friendship trailer. New Little Nightmares 3 trailer revealed at Gamescom. You've been friends for a long time now. It's been so long, longer than either of you can remember. You understand each other implicitly, instantly picking up on cues other people wouldn't even catch. Working together as a team comes naturally after all you've been through. It's a hard life here in the Nowhere, looking for a way out, a way back home, but things could be worse. You're together, that's what matters. In Little Nightmares 3, that teamwork will be put to the test as never before, whether you're playing online with a friend or solo with an AI companion. In the latest trailer, you'll see just a few challenges waiting for Lone Alone that you'll need to overcome. In our first ever online co-op game, 2 children will need to collaborate with different tools to solve the eternal problem facing visitors in this charmingly horrible nightmare world: staying alive. If you play as Lo, you'll have the use of his makeshift bow and arrows. Did he used to fire it in games of fantasy, pretending to be a hero? Neither of them are sure these days. Now, his arrows slice ropes and bring down the smaller threats of the Nowhere, like grounding buzzing beetles, so Alone can finish them off. Playing as Alone means shouldering her wrench. It must have taken time for such a small creature to learn to hold that solid iron weight, but she wields it with relative ease. How many times has she swung it? How many attacks and traps have they lived through? They both lost count long ago. Lately, it feels different. It's hard to explain how, but they can both feel it. They're finally moving towards where they really belong, but the necropolis is a far cry from what they knew before, and what comes after that. It's worse. It's always, always worse. The slap of cold rain as shadows squirm inside a canvas tent. The harsh burn of chemicals used to stoke the machines as you scurry through their pipes and vents. The scuttle of claws on metal behind you. And that's when you start to see glimpses of it. The face you truly fear. Because for the longest time, it's just been the both of you. And even though it was bad, it was always hard. You worked together and saw each other through. You climbed and ran and hid, and in the end, you survived. But now, when the pulley creaks and warbles like it might give away, when the yellowed lights snap on without warning, when a shadow looms out of the dark, there's this moment. A moment when you look at your friend and you see a perfect reflection of your own terror. And you know without saying a word that you're both thinking the same thing. We might not live through this nightmare. You're just children after all. So, I've picked a couple of sentences out of the description that I think is the most important. Let's get started with the first. You've been friends for a long time now. This is talking directly to Lo and Alone, or the player that's playing as them. It's been so long, longer than either of you can remember. This is pretty simple, and all it basically means is Lo and Alone have been friends before Little Nightmares 3. You're together, that's what matters. The developers are focusing heavily on the friendship of Lo and Alone. This could also be a slight sarcasm. The developers could be foreshadowing to the ending of Little Nightmares 3. Something like saying the opposite of what's going to happen. They won't have each other in the end. Did he used to fire it in games of fantasy, pretending to be a hero? Neither of them are sure these days. And how many times have she swung it? How many attacks and traps have they lived through? They both lost count long ago. Their relationship is stronger than ever, as they have lived and survived together, killing things and protecting each other. Lately, it feels different. It's hard to explain how, but they both feel it. They have both survived together on many journeys, but now, they're not so sure if they'll survive this one. They're finally moving towards where they really belong. This means the Little Nightmares 3 will be the conclusion to their stories. The slap of cold rain as shadows squirm inside a canvas tent. This is talking about the carnival. And shadow could be a reference to this guy, the shadow of the man we see in the carnival section in the new trailer. The harsh burn of chemicals used to stoke the machines as you scurry through their pipes and vents. This is talking about the factory. The scuttle of claws on metal behind you. This is that long-armed monster that we called Giga Roger. That's talking about this because, as you can see in the trailer, it looks like he or she has sharp, like razor-sharp claws. And that's when you start to see glimpses of it, the face you truly fear. This is references to the big boss of the game. It could possibly be the Mirror Man, the Ferryman, the North Wind, Six, or something completely new. When the yellowed lights snap on without warning, yellowed could be a reference to Six, hinting that she's the final boss, or it could be a reference to the carnival. When a shadow looms out of the dark, this again is talking about the final boss of the game. There's this moment, a moment when you look at your friend and you see a perfect reflection of your own terror. This shows that Lo and Alone will both face the big boss of the game together. It also proves that the boss will be terrifying. And you know, without saying a word, that you're both thinking the same thing. We might not live through this nightmare. This is once again foreshadowing to one or the both of them dying. After analysing the description, we can see that there is a lot of foreshadowing, and it seems that they're focusing heavily on their relationship. There seems to be a lot of foreshadowing on one of them dying or being split up. For instance, you're together, that's what matters. This could be sarcasm, and it could be hinting towards them getting split up. Or, and you know, without saying a word, that you're both thinking the same thing. We might not live through this nightmare. This could also be hinting to one or the both of them meeting their demise. Most things in the description hint towards a bad ending, but there could also be a chance of a good ending. For instance, they could both escape and have a happy ending. Yippee! Unfortunately, a good ending doesn't seem likely. Not anymore. These are some ideas of what I think a bad ending could look like. Probably the most likely ending. Number 1, a betrayal. Similarly to Little Nightmares 2, one of them could betray each other. Maybe Lo gets the chance to escape or to save Alone. As Lo has been searching for a way out of the spiral for a long time now, he could leave Alone to escape for himself. Or maybe one of them is just heartless and kills the other. This is not very likely though, as they have both been friends for a while, and if they were going to stab each other in the back, they would have done so already. Number 2, death. One of them could die. For instance, Lo is running to the exit in a cutscene, and that's when Alone gets grabbed and killed by the final big boss. Lo carries on running, knowing there's nothing he can do but watch. Or they could both die. In the final cutscene, maybe both of them get killed somehow. Maybe it could be because of 6, or maybe someone completely different. We'll have to wait and see. The final idea I have of a death ending is when they both have a giant argument, ending up in their deaths. Maybe only one of them can escape the nowhere and they fight about it, resulting in their demise. This one, again, is not very likely, as they have been friends for a while and they wouldn't betray each other and stab each other in the back just like that. Number 3, the Ferryman ending. I give all credits for this one to Gemini. His channel will be in the link in the description. What if one of them gets killed very early on in the game? The ferryman takes this as an opportunity and he uses his ability to shapeshift into the kid that has died. Then, throughout the rest of the game, one of the children is the ferryman without the other kid and the players knowing. At the end of the game, the ferryman reveals his true form and kills the other kid. So, that was the theory. I hope you guys liked it. I did work hard on this one and I did analyze, so a like would be appreciated. Now, moving on to the fan art. The first piece of fan art is from Spider Lily. This picture of 6 is absolutely incredible. The way her lighter creates a small bit of light while darkness is all around her is extremely artistic. Thank you so much. The last piece of fan art is from Lol. Lol has made yet another animation. This time it does have a bit of swearing in it, so if you don't want to hear that, skip ahead. Anyway, here it is.
Good afternoon, parents! Good afternoon, boys and girls! Shut the fuck up! Hey!
Not nice.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
Do you need to leave?
No, bitch.
Okay.
Oh, he's out. Yeah, he's out.
This is super cool and very funny. I imagine this is actually what 6 would say to the teacher. Keep up the amazing animations, bro. Make sure to join my Discord and submit any Little Nightmares fan art, as you could have a chance to be in the next video using the link in the description. Now, moving on to the comments. The first comment is from Ghoul Games. Ghoul says, got a theory. So, you know the clip at the end of the friendship trailer? I think that's the very beginning of the game. Lo wakes up, and it makes sense for Alone to already be awake, because she's a curious tinkerer. So, she would want to be up before Lo to explore more. There's also a screenshot that backs up this theory. It's in the same place but with Lo holding a map, and it makes a lot of sense why he wakes up and immediately looks at the map. And the nightmare sequence that we always have will probably be the mirror that we see go back and forth through the announcement trailer, and will hold the Mirror Man, since every Little Nightmares game has always had a nightmare sequence of what we encounter later on. Also, I think Lo is the reason why every mirror on the mall is broken. Okay, so this is Edison FipsyB2 here, and when the time I was recording this, or recording this for the theory and theorizing about it, the demo footage was not released yet. So, as you said that you thought that that specific scene was at the start of the game, I didn't know that that was true at the time, and I tried to debunk it. If I'm honest, I didn't think that was the start of the game, but now we know it is the start of the game. So yeah, the mirror sequence could be before that, and then that could obviously play as the dream sequence or the nightmare sequence we have in each Little Nightmares game, and then Lo would wake up. This being the start of the game though, it does raise one question in particular. So if you remember back to the 18-minute gameplay, obviously it seems, I'll put some on screen now at the start of it. We can see Lo and Alone coming through a mirror, and that looks like it'd be the start of the game, no? Because after the demo thing, after Lo and Alone wakes up, they go out into the necropolis. but through this mirror they enter in the necropolis. So that doesn't really make sense. So unless they scrapped the start of the 18-minute gameplay for the final game, I don't really know what that could mean. Anyway, back to the rest of the theory. I do also like your theory about how low is the reason behind every broken mirror in the mall. Personally, I don't know if I'd like to see the mole in Little Nightmares 3 though, as I think it'd be best to step away from things that connect to 6 for now. Thanks for your comment. The last comment is from Altac. Altac says, "It's a wild and loose theory, but let me explain. In the new Friendship trailer, we see the necropolis in darkness. What if that darkness is the North Wind? I think that at the end of every chapter they encounter the North Wind and always barely escape it, until it almost consumes them, and with Lo potentially becoming more evil by entering more mirrors, he transforms into the Mirror Man and lets himself get consumed by the North Wind, leaving alone. What do you think about that, Pippi?" Editing FipsyB2 here again, and unfortunately, this whole theory was debunked. Not by me, but with the newest gameplay for Little Nightmares 3. And obviously, the time Altac was writing this and the time I was recording this, it weren't released. So, yeah, they did debunk this by saying night has fallen on the necropolis.
Wow, night has fallen on Necropolis.
So yes, unfortunately, as much as I would like to see the North Wind in Little Nightmares 3, it doesn't look likely as the producer has confirmed that that is just nighttime. So guys, make sure to leave your theories down below for a chance to be in the next video. So yeah, I just want to remind you once again, a like and subscribe would be appreciated, as this is probably the theory, probably the most hard-worked theory, or a theory that I've worked the most hard on, because like as you've seen, the silly, stupid little animations, kind of animations I put in, I tried to make them funny, I didn't want to make them serious, but yeah, also this video is pretty long. Most of my theories are around 7 to 12 minutes, something like that. But this theory is around 17 minutes. So yes, guys. As I said earlier, Gemini's channel will be in the description, as well as my Discord server, just in case you want to put in any Little Nightmares fan art. And yes, make sure to leave your comments down below, and a like and subscribe is always appreciated, and it helps me out a bunch. So guys, I will thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.